Oh yeah! Oh, it's a new one. Wow! Okay, so what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and I'm excited today to do this video because I am excited to show you guys this new device that just came out that is like in a form factor of like the old SEGA Game Gear. And everybody who knows me knows that I love SEGA. SEGA's my #1 freaking game systems that I used to love growing up. Like, it was always about Sega Genesis for me. Sega Genesis, and Sega Saturn. I had a Sega Saturn, but I mean, I used to love that thing, but it wasn't as popular as PlayStation and N64 though. That's the sad part about Sega Saturn, because they didn't really make enough good games for it. But the games I played on it was always the best. I mean, I played Virtua Cop, Virtua Fighter 2, Tomb Raider on that. I never had Panzer Dragoon. I always wanted it, but I never had that one. But oh yeah, the Sonic 3D Blast was my #1 favorite game. I always played that on Sega Saturn. But anyways, this is the Game Kiddy Bubble, and let's get into it. Let's open this up. Got that open, and look at this nice box. I mean, it's a very nice box, but I don't really like how it doesn't match with the system that's inside of it. I mean, this is a very nice box though. I mean, but the fonts and stuff, and look how many times it says bubble. I like, does it really need to say bubble that many times? Look at this, Game Kiddy Bubble, and scribble font here, and then bubble again, then the bubble, Game Kiddy Bubble, classic. It's like, do you really need to say it that many times? Look at this, bubble. Wow, dude. Bubble. That's insane. But all in all, it is a very nice box though. I mean, it's nice and smooth. It's got, this console has a little bit of weight to it. I mean, I literally thought it was gonna be like extremely light, like, you know, them really freaking stupid little kid toys. That's cool. I kind of like that foaming thing in there. Keeps it nice and safe, I hope. All right, so first impressions, here we go. Let's take this baby out. Oh yeah, here she is, or he. I'm gonna call it she. No, I'm gonna call it he. You know why? Because it's shittier than a woman. No, I'm kidding. Alright. Ooh, I love the red. I love the red. By the way, I'm refilming this because I did film this about 7 days ago. Yeah, it was 7 days ago. And that first part you saw was the first part of the film, and it got messed up and shit, and I didn't like the lighting. And not only that, I found out there was no SD card inside the firmware, the internal for the OS. There was nothing, and I couldn't freaking believe it. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I thought I ordered the no card for the no external SD card for the you know, for the ROMs and stuff like that. That's what I thought I was ordering when I said no card. I thought it was just ordering the one with just firmware, and they didn't give me nothing. So here I am 7 days later, an entire week of trying to figure out how to, I mean, it took me like 4 days to really get it finally working and everything like that, get the firmware and stuff. But I'll just tell you, it was a freaking nightmare, dude. Like, it was insane. I couldn't believe all the shit I was dealing with just to get it to run. And for the box arts, I was like all over the place trying to figure out how to get the box art to work on this thing. Because I'm telling you, this thing is brutal. If you don't know what you're doing with these things, do not order them without an SD card. Like, if you're gonna order these things, just order it with the SD card, because you know, they'll give you the firmware and everything like that. Even if it's a crappy firmware, just deal with it until you get a better firmware and stuff like that, custom firmwares for it. Because if you don't know what you're doing, if you know, you just want to buy these things and just turn it on into play without an SD card, don't do it. Just don't do it, because you're gonna deal with shit. But all in all, the first impressions I had with this thing is it's very nice. I really like this design, this form factor, and that's exactly why I freaking ordered it. And it took me at least, I'd say, what is it, about 3 years almost. It's almost in 3 years in total since I ordered a console from China, because you know they're just constantly spitting out the same shit over and over and over, and it's just always Nintendo designs, and the firmware is usually always the same. And I'm like, man, when are they gonna fucking give me like a really good firmware? I mean, did I say firmware? Yeah, no, not a firmware. Well, that too, but but a new form factor is what I mean. When they're gonna like do something new. And they did finally with the RG Arc, which I really liked, and I was like really fascinated by that design, and it was gorgeous. But I didn't order it because it was too big. I don't think I could fit that in my pockets. Like even though it was very nice, I want to be able to just throw something in my pocket. And finally, we get this, the Game Kiddy bubble, which is very freaking nice. I really love this design, and the plastic, I mean, is not really the greatest. It's really a cheap plastic, like a kid's toy, but it kind of works with this design, because it also keeps it nice and sturdy and firm. Like, it's a very sturdy, comfortable device, and it's a little hefty. It has a little weight to it, and I think that's because of the battery, maybe. But you know, all in all, what's inside is what matters most to me. It's so let's get into the specs. By the way, one thing I noticed too, there is no, where is it? There's no charging cable. Where's the cable? Where is it? Huh, guys? Where is it? And you got your little manual in there, starter guide, whatever, but that thing never helps. So it's running a Rockchip Arcade 3566 CPU with a 64-bit processor, 1.8 gigahertz frequency. And the screen is a 3.5-inch IPS screen with a 640 by 480p resolution. It's pretty good. That's decent. I mean, it's no HD, but that's damn good. Really clear and crisp, you know, picture quality. The battery will be the 4,000 milliamp battery. It's about 4 to 6 hours in gameplay. I mean, it depends on what you play. If you're playing higher end like Dreamcast and stuff, PSP, it's probably going to run a little faster, so maybe like 3 to 4 hours. But anything else under that, it probably lasts 6 hours at least, 5 to 6. And it's about 1 to 2 hour charge. Okay, so now here we go with the buttons. I mean, these analogs are pretty decent. I like these. They're the Switch analog, which I'm not really too fond of, because they're constantly just using these, reusing these, which I'm kind of getting tired of. But you know what? It's fine. I'm not gonna complain about that. As long as they work and they're good, they're not that bad. I mean, the hell with it. So now the main thing that I love about this too is that it's the SEGA design, and they got the SEGA D-pad. I mean, it's not exactly a SEGA D-pad because it's, you know, a different plastic and stuff like that, but it's damn good. It's really good. It rocks. It rolls over. It's really nice. The pivot is very nice. Like, it's very good. Here's the menu button for your RetroArch menu. Mainly, yeah, that's what pops up when you're in the emulator and you use this button to get the menu. So here's the select and start, which are clicky, which I don't really like about, you know, some of these Chinese devices when they do the clicky buttons like that. I don't like that clickiness, but it's not that loud. It's not too bad. It's not going to bother me too much. I mean, I have an RG350 with louder, clickier buttons. Start and select. So here's your shoulder buttons. We got, you know, the L and R, and then we got the L2, R2, which are pretty much like the same clickiness. Yeah, they're pretty much the same. I mean, they feel a little cheap, but not that cheap. I mean, they're not terrible, and they're very responsive. Here's the power button. Here is this home button. I don't know what it's supposed to do because it doesn't do anything. Well, when I tested this thing out, I did test the thing out plenty of times because I was trying to get the firmware and stuff like that. So I was trying to see what this button does. It doesn't do anything. I don't know what the hell it's supposed to do. Maybe somebody who knows, you know, would tell me in the comment section below. They're like, what does that button do? It doesn't do anything. So here is the HDMI micro, which I don't know why they didn't put mini. I would rather the mini, but they put micro. I mean, it's fine, whatever, I guess. I'm not really going to use it anyways. Here's the headphone jack, 3.5 millimeter, and of course the operating system TF card, SD card. here is the B and A, which they should have did A here and B here instead. Because since this is the Sega form factor, you know, it's the Sega Game Gear. They should have did A B and like maybe C E something up here maybe. But I like how they kept it the Sega design though, with the there's the concave here, and then here is the convex up here. I like that, and that's very good, and I love this D-pad. And the bottom, of course, you have your SD card for the ROMs and your charging port, USB Type C, and here is the volume knocker here. Oh yeah. And here's your two speakers here. The two stereo speakers, which are not the greatest. I mean, the volume doesn't go up that high, but you know, and it also depends on the ROMs. For some reason, some ROMs go up higher than others. It's pretty weird. That is the weirdest part about this. One of the strangest things. So yeah, and then the bezels on the screen. A lot of people will complain about how big the bezels are and shit. And that's not gonna bother me because that's supposed to look like that. It's supposed to resemble the Game Gear, which had massive bezels, like they were huge. But I really love this design. It's gorgeous. It is a beautiful design. I love this red. I wish the plastic was better, but you know what? It's totally fine. It's very comfortable. It's not terrible, you know. But all right. So, oh yeah, I do love this Game Kiddy bubble here. Like, I don't like the name, but I like how this looks here. It actually looks cool. It gives it quality. It does give it some kind of quality look to it. And it's not like some other color, like orange or some shit, you know, like Amberdick used to do. But I like how it's like a silver. I like that. But this is white. It doesn't, yeah, it doesn't blend in with the light. But that's fine. It doesn't look bad. I like that. I don't like this one back here though. This one looks like shit. This weird font bubble, and then these little bubbles here, like that looks so weird. Like that. Now that you look at the back of this, of course you're gonna think it's some kid's toy. What is that? It's like some Fisher Price toy, dude. No, it's the Game Kiddy bubble. Check it out, man. This thing is freaking awesome. Plays Dreamcast, bro. Whoa, that little toy. Yeah. All right, but anyways. All right, so let's turn it on. Let's see the operating system. Here we go. So I got it to run. I got it on Plum OS. I'm using the custom firmware by some Japanese guy. I'm going to put the links in the description so that way people can know where to get this firmware in case you can't find the original one. I'm going to put the original one in there too. The hell with it, yeah. I'll put the original one in there. Yeah, so here we go. Here is now. There's one problem I had with this thing though, is that the with this custom firmware, it doesn't allow me to change this theme. I don't know why. It allows me to customize the theme, this specific theme here, but it doesn't let me change the theme, the entire theme. It's so weird. I don't know what the hell is wrong with it, but I don't know. It's annoying. But here's all your systems here. Got the little arts in the back. Shows you all and everything here. Target Jaguar, which I did want to run, but it runs, but it's shit. It doesn't actually play Jaguar. So if you want this thing for Jaguar, no, it's not gonna work. But yeah, we got the Dreamcast, we got the Sega Saturn. So all in all, for the most part, all your ROMs are gonna run for all these systems. See, yeah, Nintendo 64. Where is it? Come back here. Nintendo 64. Here we go, right here. Nintendo 64 does actually run. It plays very well if you change the settings. What I had to do to get it to like fully run, full speed, is I had to lower the resolution in RetroArch for this specific emulator that I'm using, which is, I think, which one was it? Let me see. Let's go into, no, back out of this. Select, there. So this is how you operate the menu here. Select will give you like some specific menu here. There's two different menus. You press select, you get this menu. You get this. You press start, you get another menu. Here it is. Mupin 64 Plus next. That's the one I'm using. And I changed the settings. I had frame skip on here. I got it to about 1 × 1 speed, I think. And I changed the resolution from 640p to 480. So now everything runs smoothly, but your resolution is just lower. That's the only issue that you're going to be seeing here when I show you this, how it plays. Which it's very good though. I mean, for the most part, majority of N64 is not bad on this system, but it's just that the higher end ones, the higher end games will start to like stutter and glitch and stuff like that, and it's slow down, so you have to lower the resolution to get them to run. Like Pokemon Stadium, that's the main reason why I figured out that I had to lower resolutions and all this stuff, because Pokemon Stadium was not running properly. I was like, God damn it! This is the main game I always play on N64. It's always Pokemon Stadium. I love Pokemon Stadium since I was a kid. And Star Fox, I love Star Fox. Smash Bros too. This runs nice and smooth now. Now that I lower the resolution, it runs smoothly. But yeah. So other than that, I mean, Sega Saturn too, I also lowered the resolution, the same thing. Because Sega Saturn is brutal to freaking run on any device. It really is. It's such a freaking brutal system to try to get to run smoothly. Like, I don't understand how, because it wasn't a 32-bit system. Like, damn, dude. Was it 32 or was it 64-bit? I think it was a 64-bit system. I can't remember. But I used to love Sega Saturn. Like, this is the main game right here, Sonic 3D Blast. I wanted to run so friggin' bad on this thing, but it just doesn't. It plays. It starts the intro, but then once it's supposed to get into the menu to start the game, it just doesn't run. It's just a black screen. I was like, son of a bitch. But for the most part, PSP runs nice because I lowered. No, I didn't lower the resolution. What I did was I just put frame skip, and it started running everything like really nice and smooth. PlayStation, of course, is going to run flawlessly. Everything else runs flawlessly, even Nintendo DS. But the only problem is that with this console, DS is not really the best thing you want to play on this because the double screen is so small, or you got to switch screens. Like, that's going to be a pain in the ass. So, DS is not the system you want to play on something like this. But for the most part, everything runs. Everything runs very nice. Except for Jaguar. Yeah, Jaguar's no-go. Arcade's great. And stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's the firmware. So, let's get into some gameplay. Alright, so that was all the gameplay. So my final thoughts on this is that it's actually a really good system. I mean, it's not perfect. It could have been way better, but you know what? I can't really complain because there's so many devices out there that literally can do the same exact thing. Sometimes they cost more, sometimes they cost less. I mean, it's usually a hit and miss with these Chinese consoles, so it really doesn't matter. I mean, the best thing about this is that it's the form factor for SEGA, you know, like for SEGA fans, especially me. Like, I'm a huge SEGA fan since I was a kid, so I mean, this device fits me. It fits my style. It's definitely something I like to hold in my hands and play some SEGA. Definitely Dreamcast on it, and since Saturn is like a hit and miss, I'm definitely going to enjoy playing Dreamcast on this, definitely. And Sega Genesis, of course, and Game Gear, like, it's just the perfect form factor for that kind of stuff. But all in all, like, I love the buttons. The buttons feel great. You know, they're not too perfect. They're not the best, but they're definitely very, very responsive for the feeling of them, and you know, for the way they are. Very responsive. I'm very impressed at how responsive all the buttons are. Like, it's extremely impressive. The plastic for this shell is like, it's not really the best quality, of course, but you know, it's like a cheap toy, but it's actually very, very, very fit for this kind of console, for this form factor especially, because since it's a little roundish shape, and you know, has like the egg shape, it's kind of like an egg, you know, or like a jelly bean egg. You know, but I love the color too. I love that it's red, and I really love this. It's not that bad. The firmware the custom firmware is actually pretty good. I'm surprised. You know, it's not that bad. But it runs well, you know, it really runs well. Like, especially if you mess around with the settings a little bit for PSP, even Saturn, you know, sometimes some Saturn games do run, you know. And for N64 especially, like, because N64 is like, I don't know, it's a mess, like, in this console, it's a mess. But you can get it to run perfectly fine, like, you know, not perfectly, but you can definitely get it to run fairly, at least, you know. Just lower the resolution, you mess with the frame skip, you know, you'll get it to run. Even though if you don't want to do that, if you really don't want to lower any resolutions or mess with the settings and stuff like that, you really want a console that can play everything flawlessly, then this ain't the console for you. I mean, just wait until they do something better, you know, with a better CPU, a better processor and everything. Maybe hopefully with the same type of design, you know, maybe they do another Sega Game Gear design, but other than that, I mean, this is the best you're gonna get for now. So I'm actually happy with it. I'm okay with it. I really love this thing. I'm gonna enjoy playing this thing for a while, like, because I was playing my RG350 for a while and the 280M, and I was always happy with those two consoles. But now I'm finally, you know, onto something a little bigger and better. You know, it is actually a little bigger and better. The shell-wise, maybe not, but everything else, yes. So yeah, I mean, it's a great console. So that's it. If that was informative for you, hit the like button, hit the share, and let people know that this console's out there if they haven't seen it yet, you know. So yeah, that's going to be it for this review, and I'll see you next time.